Imagine for a moment, if you would, that you're standing shoulder deep in a river, small river, and the water is moving by you, not rushing, not going to knock you over, but you can really feel the water, if you would. And let's do something kind of Merabh. Let's put on a little music on this one. So you're standing, and let's turn down those lights. So you're standing in the river, nice clean water, of course, and you can feel the flow of water all around you, on your body. You can feel the temperature. You can feel that force, that there's a pressure as the water flows past you. You can feel the smoothness of the water, even though it's pushing on you. It's kind of flowing around you. You can feel its presence. It has a defined presence, this water. And it's always there. That flow is relatively consistent, always there. That flow, the feeling of the water flowing around your body, is a constant reminder that you're in the river, that you're in the water. It's constantly saying, you're here, you're alive, you exist, because you can feel the water flowing around you. This is what time and space are like. There is a constant flow. There's a constant kind of a pressure. There is a type of what I would call gentle resistance, a joyful resistance. In other words, you can feel it. And in this case, time and space moving through you. You can feel it. It's in every part of your biology, every part of your mind. Time and space are like the river. It was a big kind of a leap coming to the understanding that you're not going through time and space, that it's flowing through and around you. Now, in this example, in the river, feeling it against you, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, time and space are the things that are flowing. And if you move your hand in the water or your leg, time and space, or in this case, the water, responds. You're not running through the river. You're not pushing the river as you go. It's flowing around you. That's really the way the whole principle of time-space works. But what happens is now there is a constant, the flow of the river. It's constant, always there. To the point you forget that you're even in the river. You actually start forgetting that there's a flow. You forget that there's kind of a force. You can feel the current. You forget that there's a resistance or a friction. It's a constant. It anchors you. And actually, the flow of the river really never changes, nor the temperature, nor much of anything. It's always there. So pretty soon, you just come to accept it, never to question it, never Never to wonder what it's like not to have this. It's always there. It's a connection. And this is what it's like. It's what it's been like for you. The flow of time and space. Move a leg, move a hand in the river. Dip yourself down. Put your head under the water. It responds to you. It flows around you. This is time and space. And this is what humans do. Okay, let's take a good deep breath with that. That's kind of the overall feeling, the dynamic of time and space. That's what you've been used to. But as you already have started to notice, it's starting to change. It's starting to change. And here's an example of the difference. For the typical human, the river flows to them, through them, and away. They won't even recognize that. They think they're going through time and space, but they're in the river. What happens as you come into your master sense, suddenly you have a different situation. And it goes like this, little music. Now, you're in a big, warm, beautiful swimming pool. Just you, nobody else. Nice, clean, warm water. And you let yourself go underwater, submerge. Just kind of float. This great big pool, beautiful warm water. It's right at about body temperature, so you don't really notice the water. And it's not moving. It's just there. There's no pressure. There's no force. You're just kind of floating. Let yourself feel that for a moment. This is kind of like timeless. That water is in the now moment. It's not pushing against you. It's not going anywhere. You are in a pool of potentials. Timeless potentials. It's just there. You're just there. This is timelessness. And the first thing that you're going to realize as a master, this is nice, but what am I supposed to do with it? So I'm just floating in a pool of warm water. What am I supposed to do? First, allow yourself to be aware of the difference between the moving river and now submerged in this pool of warm water. There's some similarities. They're both water. But everything else is kind of different. This is timeless. What I call the ineffable moment, ineffable presence. Ineffable means without description. No trying to quantify it. No trying to define it. Just floating. Not being pushed here or there, just floating. The ineffable presence, the I am, surrounded by this ocean of potentials that exist beyond time and space. That's what that water is. All potentials. It's also time and space, but it's very different than the river, because the moment you choose now to experience something, the moment you choose to be creative, the moment you choose to express yourself, suddenly that non-moving water, that time and space which is not moving, suddenly gets activated. Suddenly. Then it moves in absolute, perfect response to your desire. But unlike the river, it doesn't just flow for an eternity. You can change it, you can move it, you can adapt it, or it rather adapts to you the moment you choose something. And it's out of time and space. It doesn't matter if you're here in this pool of water, this non-moving time and space. It doesn't matter if right now you're choosing something that the human in the river would have thought was in their childhood. Because there is no time and space, Master. There is no past. There is only the ineffable presence. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter here in this pool of time and space potential. If you are choosing to experience something that the human back in the river thinks is in the future, thinks is upstream somewhere, not here in this pool, because it's timeless. To the human, that's mind-boggling. How can that be? The human's been in the river for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, and it doesn't know anything other than the river. It relies on the river. It depends on the river. It uses the river to justify its existence. But here, in the master sense, it's just you in this warm pool of time-space potential. That child that you were, that child that was unsafe at some point, is here right now. Along with the master that some of you would call from the future, but it's not. They're here in this pool with you right now. Those aspects of you that you've struggled with, they're in this pool right now. along with the fully integrated self that you are, all right here, fully integrated. You know, there doesn't have to be linear time and space. You don't have to stand in the river anymore. Hell, the others don't even realize there's a river. You can be in this pool. That child that you were that felt so unsafe can be here right now in the absolute safety of this pool. Right with that master that you're trying to become is right here. There's no separation. There's no distance. They're all here. And suddenly a very funny thing starts happening. A very profound thing starts happening. You see, they've always been here. Always, always. They've always been together. And suddenly that child, that wounded, unsafe child, realizes it is also the integrated master. Also. And. The human that you think you are right now, trying to make its way through the river, trying to become the master, suddenly realizes in this timelessness that the master is already here. There's no separation anymore. And they all can be here. They all can share this ineffable presence. And suddenly everything changes. Suddenly that unsafe child is no longer unsafe. That adult that failed in some things is no longer a failure. That person that's trying to become a master is no longer trying. Because suddenly all the potentials are illuminated. In this place without time or space, you're already there. You don't have to heal the child. You don't have to justify the mistakes. You don't have to try to be the master. They're all here. And then suddenly, in this beautiful moment, I'm drowning. What was I thinking? I'm underwater. I'm floating around in this pool. I'm drowning. Where's I going to catch my breath? That's going to happen. Would you rather have me just tell you, oh, you'll learn to love yourself and it'd be so joyful and you'll have...
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now what's going to happen.
Yeah, for today, yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
God.
It's going to happen. Because the first thing that you realize in the master's sense is that there is timelessness. And you're going to be in time as well. You're going to still be in the river and you're going to be in the pool. Both at the same time. And you're going to be going along like we were now going, oh, I really like this. The music is so nice. By the way, that's from Joham's new Merabh song album CD. and you're going to be, oh, this is so nice. I'm in the pool just floating. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have this shit realization, I can't breathe. How long have I been underwater? It's the human screaming out, saying, what's wrong with you? You got all this the spiritual stuff, but you forget the practicalities, like you got to breathe and you have to have a job and you have to eat and you got all these problems from the past and you can't pay your rent. You see what happens? Get used to it.